In this video, I want to explain to you that no matter what your age, why it's absolutely worth starting a martial art. Now, I'm 20 years old and I've started training Muay Thai along with some other things. But before I get into that, I want you to full screen this video and really pay attention to this part. I remember last year, I was the biggest that I've ever been at 89 kilos, which is almost 200 pounds. I was in the gym 5 times a week and I was about in my third or so year of training. But something wasn't right. The skinny kid within me was still there. While lifting weights had done a lot for my self-confidence and just made me a better person overall, deep down, that shy, skinny kid was still there. The same kid who would start sweating if he had to go up and order food by himself. The same kid whose heart would start beating so loudly that you could literally hear it in the middle of a store if he was in a slightly confrontational situation. That if you were to literally push me, I would just turn around and laugh it off. I never got into any fight. Well, I'm not saying you should get into any fights, but I didn't have the ability to. I was always scared. Can you imagine that? Somebody pushing you for absolutely no reason, and no matter how shocked or hurt you are, you just like laugh it off like it's a funny joke. That person was still inside me, despite being almost twice the size. Can you imagine being your dream physique and still not being that level of confident that you want to be with other people? Well, fast forward to January 2024, and one of my friends told me on a random evening when I thought I was sick, came up to my house and said, "We're going to the local Muay Thai gym and we're going to start training today." I started making a bunch of excuses that I'm sick, I'm this and that, which I'd been making for the past 3 weeks whenever he asked me to go. But today, I knew deep down it was the day to start. Long story short, I'm in there and I love it. It's really enjoyable. Even on that first day, it was great. The whole time that night, I'm just thinking of the head movements I learned that day and all the drills I done. 2 months later, I've gotten a proper membership. 3 months later, I've gotten an even bigger membership that I'm still on. And I'm doing that more than I do gym now, which is why I've cut down on a bit of weight as well. So at the end of the next few minutes, I'm going to absolutely convince you why you should be doing the same if you're not. Let me tell you about the benefits. First of all, if you're thinking about cutting weight, it's an absolute piece of cake when you're doing a martial art. Especially when you're doing it regularly, because it is extremely tiring. It burns a lot of calories, but the difference is that it's very enjoyable because it's not something like running where you're just doing the same movement over and over again and it's all about a mental thing. This is also a mental thing, and it also is very tiring and repetitive, but it feels like there's a deeper purpose there and it feels enjoyable. Not only that, you get athletic, you get stronger, you'll literally get abs, your cardio will get better. Then another bonus tip is you realize how good you actually are at fighting when you spar for the first time. And spoiler alert, you're not as good as you think at the start. But so far, the biggest benefit to training a martial art wasn't all of those things. It wasn't what you think it is. It wasn't even the ability to defend myself if I ever got into a fight, because honestly, the chances of that happening isn't that high. No, the real benefit of training a martial art is something much deeper than that. See, if you related to my story of being scared and worried when you're in a confronting situation and your heart starts beating and you kind of freeze up, then I want you to ask yourself this deep question. Why exactly do you get scared? What is the instinctive reason that causes you to be scared? And I know this will sound a little bit cringy, a little bit weird, but I noticed that one of the biggest reasons that I felt that way is because deep down, not even consciously, but deep down, I felt that I actually couldn't fight this person if it came to it. If it came to becoming physical, there was nothing I could do about it. And that's why it was always about keeping a calm situation. It was always about laughing it off. It was always about just like, let's not let this get that far. Let's not say anything that might possibly hurt the other person. Not even hurt, possibly slightly set off the other person that they might attack me. But long story short, when you train a martial art, without knowing, this happened to me, without knowing, a few months later, I wasn't really getting that feeling anymore. And this especially happened from when you actually spar people, that you realize that you're actually getting better. And against some random guy who's trying to bully you, trying to annoy you, you don't have to be scared anymore, or not as much as before. Of course, you shouldn't get into fights for no reason. That would be stupid. But you're not going to be that timid, shy person anymore. Your confidence will become a lot more well-rounded. For example, I remember in a job where I have to face a lot of customers in person, whenever I would get into any sort of problem with a customer getting angry, a customer getting unhappy, my heart would start beating so much. I would not know what to do. I would do anything to cater to that customer. But recently I had a problem where I really set off a customer and got him really unhappy by accident. I didn't mean to, it was an honest mistake. But when I actually came to him coming to the store and I actually spoke to him, I realized afterwards that entire time I was still calm. I wasn't scared that entire conversation. And it was like a grown man taller than me, but I just wasn't as worried as I would have been 6 months ago, 12 months ago. The entire conversation, I spoke normally. I was level-headed in the conversation. And the problem, well, it was out of my control. Nothing could be done about it. So it was over. But that's exactly when I realized that I'm getting back the confidence that I should have. That's when I decided to make this video to tell you right now, sign up for a martial art if you haven't and you struggle from those confidence issues that I've described. Now the question might be, which martial art? Which one should I do? There's so many. There's striking sports, there's wrestling sports. The answer to that is, it doesn't matter. Just do anything. That initial question of trying to choose something, I promise you it doesn't matter. I wasted so much time thinking about that and not getting anywhere. If I'd honestly started with something, I could have made a lot more progress in it, but it is what it is. So here's an action step for you right now. I want you to go down to the comments and I want you to tell me which martial arts you're going to do. And then I want you to come back in a week and reply to that comment and tell me how you went. If you want to talk to me personally, you can at any time by DMing me on my Instagram, or you can join my Discord server and talk to me and hundreds of other people whenever you like. Thank you for your attention in this video, and I will see you in the next one.